Why have the Nigerian Fulani leaders suddenly gone quiet looking at what is going on in Burkina Faso, Mali, and even in so many places in Nigeria? Looking at what is going on in Burkina Faso today, it has been reported that the machineries that have actually carried out and perpetrated those dastard terrorist acts across the axis of Joby, and they've taken some parts of Burkina Faso today as suspected Fulani bandits. Because when we see their videos, the language they speak is Fulde. But all of a sudden, we haven't seen any condemnation coming from the leaders of the Fulani's, that they call themselves Fulani's of West Africa. Some days ago, I posted a video whereby a governor of Nigeria, Bala Mohammed, in the past said that Fulanis are global citizens and every Fulani is welcome in Nigeria. And this is why this statement is so dangerous and why we must call out the Fulani leaders in Nigeria that wherever Fulanis are, as far as Africa is concerned, they need to speak about them. If they do good, yeah, you speak about them. But when they perpetrate evil, we expect the Sultan of Sokoto, who is the leader of the Fulani conclaves, right, of the Fulani tribes in Nigeria, to speak. We expect this same Bala Muhammad to come out and attack, speak against every evil that is perpetrated by those Fulanis that might not be in Nigeria, and those that are even in Nigeria, they have to speak against this. But what we have learned is that these Fulanis have learned to build allies across board. They use religion, they use all these tenets of sentiment to drive their agenda, and of course to protect their own collective will and wishes. You know, because if I tell you a story that Boko Haram started in 2002, but within a short period of 2002 and 2003, which was some months to election, the President Obasanjo was able, right? He was able to crush Boko Haram because as at then, they didn't have a lot, right? They didn't have a lot of allies across Africa and even outside Africa. Fast forward into 2009, 2010, they have been able to build allies. And yes, I am still going to talk about Biafra and why Biafra has always had these issues. Why they've always faced serious obstacles in achieving their goals, because they have failed in building allies before they go for any war. You must understand that for every fight of liberation, which of course is what these Jenims, these Fulani elders who are bandits, these Boko Harams, these ISWAPs, comprises majority of Fulani's, right? You have to understand that what they've done, haven't seen the mistake they made within the period of 2002 to 2003, was they saw that they did not build an alliance before they went into that agenda of jihad. Why they are so successful in Africa today, not in Africa, let me say in West Africa today, was because they learned from that progenitor, Uthman Danfodio. When Uthman Danfodio started the Fulani jihad within the dynasty of Gobir, which was the Hausa land dynasty, Uthman Danfodio built allies right from the Sudan, got so many war knowledge, right? He got the knowledge about warfare. He got the knowledge about how he could build alliance across his community, rally people around, right? So the Fulanese today are not calling those that are perpetrating the evil. They are not shaming and naming them, right? Simply because they know that alliances must be built across nations and across states. Now, let me go to the issue of the Biafrans. The Biafrans have had a very beautiful ideology. Yes, But there's one thing that has been lacking. The reason why a person like Odumeje Ojukwu succeeded for a period of time was because, yes, he had allies with some African states, but he didn't really have a very powerful nation or powerful country behind him. Right? He didn't. I am sure that Ivan Ojukwu had that agreement with the Russians who said, yes, we will support you. However, we would have access to your oil for a period of time. If he had agreed to such, we might not be having this conversation today. We might be having a situation just like we have in South Africa, where Lesotho, as you can see on my screen over there, Lesotho is a country on its own right within the South African territory. And the South Africa as a country today cannot invade Lesotho anyhow. Lesotho has its own allies. Yes, go and check it. So the people who have been behind the Biafra struggle recently, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, who are the allies? Who are the allies? When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started this war against the Nigerian state, who are his allies? You cannot tell me that it is Ethiopia, which is known as one of the black Jew nation in the world, as allies. You cannot confidently tell me that Israel is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ally. Neither can you tell me that America is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ally. You see, when you are going into a struggle, the likes of Yugoslavia, the likes of when USSR was supposed to break out, because USSR was being held by the very hard grip of Russia, right? When USSR was about to break out, those mini countries, those minute countries, the likes of Croatia, the likes of Yugoslavia, so many of them, they seek for allies. We know that the Croatians, the Czechoslovakias, all of those countries, they were seeking for ally in the West. They seek for ally in the West in exchange for so particular things, most especially mineral resource. I don't know if you are following me, right? The battle for liberation is not a joke. The battle for you to seek for separation is not a joke. It's a battle that can last for 100 years. It's a battle that can last for even 200 years. But you must understand that you need allies. Quickly, let me take you to the issue of America. When America wanted to break away from the power grip of the United Kingdom, the British, America sought for allies, and one of their allies was the French. Yes, was the French. The French nation was one of the countries that assisted America when America was about to fall, when they had their revolution in 1774, if I'm not mistaken, 1774, 1775. The French came in and joined the forces of the Americans, and at the end of it, the Americans were able to stand their ground, and they defeated the British colonial armies, or the British Royal Guards, whatever their name is called. In exchange, America returned something to France. Yes. And to this very day, we can see that alliance is still very strong. You know, at the beginning, I mentioned that the Nigerian Fulani'S are not calling out what we are seeing going on across West Africa by their brothers, right? In Burkina Faso, in Mali. I mean, we know what the Central African Republic did to the Fulani'S, whereby they chased nothing less than 1,000 Fulani'S because of Terrorism Act. We know that in Burkina today, the Ibrahim Traore regime has declared the Fulani'S that they are not to be trusted. Right? Because it seems that when the good ones are not ready to call out the bad ones, then it simply means this is what we call conspiracy, connivance. That means they are in cahoot Because you cannot see your brother committing evil, right? And you shy away. And this is why I am calling the leaders, the Nigerian leaders, the Nigerian Fulani's, who are leaders in Nigeria, who are even governors, that they need, wherever they see their brothers carrying out any form of terrorism act, it's important that they call them out. Yes, it is very clear. If I have a Yoruba brother, if we have an historical background that the Yorubas are in Benin, yes, we know that the Yorubas are in Brazil. Have we not seen how the Oni of Ife goes to Brazil to sometimes, you know, yes, just to encourage and to tell the Yorubas, they call themselves the Brazil Yorubas, who are living it because they practice the traditions of the Yoruba, they worship the Orumila, they practice the Ifa tradition, divinations, and all that. Sometimes the Oni of Ife will go to Brazil and he will tell them that as a Yoruba person, the most important thing is to adhere to the Omoluabi ethos. You must respect the land where you reside. You must not go out there and engage in any form of terrorism, bullying, criminality. I mean, and we know that so many times these Brazils also come down to Nigeria, that they know this is the source. If Nigeria happens to be, or Sokoto precisely, if it happens to be the source of the Fulani's, because as it stands, Uthman Danfodio happens to be the progenitor of the Fulani in Africa. Yes, whether we like it or not. Uthman Danfodio, who finally made the Sokoto as his cradle, right? In fact, Uthman Danfodio is buried in Sokoto. Hence, it is important that our leaders in Nigeria who are Fulani's, who hold high political positions, they must begin to call out the excesses of the marauding. Out of them, they have the ones that are marauders, they have the ones that are criminals. They must begin to call them out, and not just call them out, they must begin to mention and shame them. It's important that these things happen, because when they are mute, it means that they are conspirators. It means that they are emboldening them, because we cannot be seeing a governor coming out to tell us that the Fulanis are global citizens, that in fact a Fulani who is walking his cattle all the way down from Somalia, all the way down from Sierra Leone, if he comes to Nigeria, there won't be a discrimination. What if that guy is coming with a weapon? Right? Why? So these are the alliances they build, and this is why it seems that they are sort of unstoppable and unsurmountable. Right? Now we know that the Janims, right, the ISWAPs, the Boko Harams, are working with international alliances, ISIS, organizations that have been alleged to be sponsored by Iran governments. They are gaining access to high-tech level weapons. Okay, so the mistake in the Biafran struggle is they must, because right now it is almost hitting a bottom rock, the struggle. Because there was a news that broke out yesterday that Samuel Ekpa has been charged for terrorism and he will spend some years in Finland. I haven't done maybe like 5 years, he will be extradited back to Nigeria. That is not a fact. That's just what I've heard. Right? But however, whenever this struggle wants to reawaken, they must understand that alliances is important. The Biafra will either build alliances with Nigeria and forge ahead, right? Or they go out there and seek wherever they can get the alliances from. It's as simple as that. In the struggle for liberation, right? So many countries out there, the likes of Eritrea, who are also in the struggle of liberation from is it Ethiopia? Yes. So many African countries, some African countries that want to secede. If they want to actually do that, they must have international alliances. I know for sure that today, if the northern Nigeria decide to succeed, nobody can stop them. Entirely nobody can stop them. Because these elements who have an agenda to Islamize the northern part of the country, they are not running based on local intelligence alone. They are running based on international collaborations with their allies. And this is a call to action that the Nigerian country must begin to understand that the Boko Harams, right? If Nigeria is truly a nation that doesn't want to fall into the hands of terrorism, that the Boko Harams do not only enjoy local intelligence, they enjoy international intelligence. Because looking at the pattern, looking at the level of sophistication of the attack recently, where we are hearing that they now have drones. I mean, imagine that they have drones that they can launch missiles with. Right? It was the Nigerian army that alluded to that fact. Where did the drones come from? Where are they getting aircraft, anti-aircraft machine guns? They are getting it from their allies in Burkina. They are getting it from their allies in Mali. And those ones in Mali and Burkina, they are getting it from their allies in ISIS, all the way down to Libya, down to the Sahel belt, into Middle East. So it is clear that we want to struggle for our freedom, because everybody in this country today, whether we like it or not, we are at a risk of being captured. We are not safe. We cannot categorically say that we are safe in Nigeria today. Yes, because we see our army barracks being attacked over and over again. Right? So I do not have 100% assurance that I am safe. Just some days ago, we saw almost 100 people who came into Lagos State, and everybody was panicking. I mean, these people that came into Lagos State are reported to be Nigerians because they all have their ID cards. But there's this high level of mistrust that how could this amount of people come into Lagos? Haba, just overnight, almost 100 people. And they all said that they came to Dangote refinery to work. You know, it was a shocker to the Nigerian people. It was a shocker. And this is when there is no confidence in the security apparatus. Hence, Nigeria must wake up. We must call short of the hypocrisy. The Fulani leaders in Nigeria who have in the past said that Fulani's across Africa can see Nigeria as their home must begin to speak against the Fulani's who are committing evil, and they must begin to name and shame them. In fact, they must begin to expose where they hide. This is the only way we can enjoy and actually gain our true freedom. If you're just joining, please kindly subscribe, like, and share. Bye for now.
They all dress in the same way. So if you come here and tell us that there are a few criminal elements that have joined the headers and they are spoiling the show for all of you, the model you need to first do is drive away the madmen among you. Any other story you tell us without doing it is playing to the gallery. If you have madmen among you, you know the madmen, deal with the madmen, let the Senate, the mechanics we know. The mechanics we know, in my illustration, were the original herders we knew that will come, growing up in this environment, they will come only with staff to guide the herds so that they will not spoil, destroy farms. That's the herders. In one of our meetings of Northern traditional rulers some years ago, A traditional ruler rose up and made the statement you made today, and my heart jumped. He said, you cannot change the culture of people overnight. What culture are you talking about? Is it culture of killing? What culture are you talking about? Is it a nomadic culture of moving up and down? That culture didn't have problems. That culture didn't seek to take over our land. That culture didn't seek to kill us. That culture didn't seek to destroy our farms, our livelihoods. That's not the culture we know. What we have now are criminal headers carrying assault rifles, killing our people, maiming them, raping our women and our daughters, dispossessing us of our land, and even when we harvest our crops and bring them home, they come to our homes, destroy our houses, bring out our harvests for their cows to eat. Is that the culture? No, I beg to differ. Any culture that is killing people, maiming people, taking over their livelihoods, burning their property, does not require 1 second notice. That culture must end immediately. If you come with heads, we will show you where the land is fertile, the grass is green, you will eat. But if you come right on our farm, people busy working, you are killing them. You are destroying our livelihoods, our farms. A whole year's labor is destroyed. That's an alien culture that cannot be tolerated in our environment. So for your own people, the model I say is that let the mechanics join hands and deal with the madmen. Then we will accept you. We have always done that in the decades past, where if a cow strayed and destroyed any farm, they will come quickly, settle, pay compensation, and move on. Now, in my domain, in Kwande, they have taken over more than 4 wards, and they are staying. In my domain in Way West, almost all the 15 wards have been taken over, and the people have run to around Naka, and there is kidnapping and road blockage on the way every day. That's not a culture that we can accommodate in Benue State. So, Markaban, deal with your internal issues. If you say they are madmen, that you don't know them, you know them. They dress like you. They talk like you. They carry AK-40 what? 7 like you. You can't deceive us. If they are talking like you, walking like you, carrying guns like you, killing us like you, how can you say you are not part of them? So first deal with the madmen among you. And come and present yourself clean, we will accept you. We have always done. It's just that things have changed.